I want to welcome all of my social media platforms to Sergeant Dorsey Speaks, Instagram TV, YouTube Subbies, and Facebook. On yesterday's Sunday, I was supposed to meet with the families of Willie McCoy, Ronnell Foster, Angel Ramos, and C.R.A.S.H, commemorating the 1 year angelversary for Willie McCoy. He was shot 1 year ago by Vallejo Police Department officers, and while I could not make it because of inclement weather, here's a little bit of my explanation about what happened, and then you're going to hear from the families. Because listen, while you may change channel and you may have forgotten, moved on, these families don't get to do that. And the pain and grief on Sunday at the Candelight Vigil for Willie McCoy, as well as the others, was palpable. Let's watch.
And I was headed out this morning to Oakland to meet up with the family of Willie McCoy. There is going to be a press conference this afternoon and a candlelight vigil because this is the 1 year anniversary of Willie McCoy's shooting. Willie McCoy is the young man who was shot and killed at Taco Bell drive-thru a year ago. And I was going to meet up with his family, brother, Corey McCoy, and cousin David. Hey guys, you already know I am sorry, so sorry that I didn't have an opportunity to come there and connect with you, but we will do this again soon, and very soon. So I'm stuck here in the airport right now. Thankfully, we got on the plane. Okay, so let me tell you what happened. Even if you don't want to know, I'm going to tell you. So we got on the plane, and they said, just as we sat our little asses in the seat, that there's a 1 hour delay because of high winds in Oakland. And then they said, so if you want to get off, you can and stretch, and then we'll, have everybody come back on in about an hour who gets off. And then about 10 minutes later, they said, yeah, we're going to cancel the flight because we're not leaving. And the flights that are already up and in the air are circling right now over Oakland, trying to figure out where they're going to take these people. So thank you, Jesus, because I did not want to get diverted and like I said, wind up in Istanbul, Turkey or somewhere else, right? So I'm going to get in my little G-Ride and take my little ass back home. And that's my silver lining. I could have been stuck somewhere else. Or, we could have been caught up, in bad air, right? And I don't even know what that means, right? Given all that's been going on with aircraft and inclement weather and bad conditions. So I'm happy that I'm here in Ontario, and yeah, Janine, better safe than sorry. So I'm not really whining and complaining much, but I am whining and complaining a little bit because listen, here's the other thing. I never, ever, 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 ever check my luggage. I always take carry-on. Today, guess what? I check luggage. So they're saying that, they're going to drag it off the plane at some point. I'm not sitting in this airport and waiting for that to happen either. So I'm going to have to come back here to Ontario, thankfully Ontario and not LAX, later this evening and see if I can't retrieve my stuff, because I've got some stuff in there that I need to make sure I get my hands back on. Let's just say that. Anyway, that's my Sunday, and could have been a lot worse. So sorry, David. Sorry, Corey. I'm there with you in spirit, and this is a marathon, not a sprint, family. You understand that, and there will be plenty of opportunities for us to speak about the kind of justice and accountability that not only the family of Willie McCoy is seeking, but the family of Ronnell Foster, Angel Ramos, and C.R.A.S.H. Couldn't think of the other name. C.R.A.S.H. We were going to be speaking on behalf of all four: Willie McCoy, Angel Ramos, C.R.A.S.H., and I'm having a senior moment. I'm going to have to work on my brain games because Willie McCoy, C.R.A.S.H., Angel Ramos, and Ronnell Foster, all four who have lost their lives at the hands of the fatal 14, the 14 police officers on the Vallejo Police Department who have lost their collective minds. And we're going to continue to demand justice and accountability for those families. So I'll have an opportunity to connect again.
We are unable in this country to see any criminal charges be brought against these officers, indictments, and or jail time is because there is a very unique and special something called the POBR, the Police Officers Bill of Rights, which gives law enforcement extra protections that we as everyday citizens are not afforded. And so as we watch these killings continue to happen throughout the country, as we continue to flood the streets and rally and march and cry, I would strongly suggest that we start to come together collectively as an educational pact.
I am Richard. I came out here to stand in solidarity with the McCoy family, because this is what we need. See, I'm from California too, so the rules apply all over California. It's just different cities, but it's the same narrative. We can't get justice, because what does justice look like? What does it look like? You say justice look like us? The justice system don't see that. They don't see that. I'm going to give y'all a real narrative and never a false one. These sheriffs, they're not voted in, they're appointed. The only people they vote in, let me get that right, the sheriffs are voted in, but the chiefs are appointed. A lot of these people in these legislations, they appointed to these offices. They shot 70 shots at my 18-year-old for running. In LAPD, our DA Jackie Lacey, she just like all the other DAs. She ain't gonna prosecute nobody. They got clause and doctrines for us, for our people. The Defense of Life doctrine is for blacks. They supposed to kill our black people in a cruel and unusual fashion. Imagine that. The peace, the Defense of Life doctrine. They use this to kill us excessive force. They've been talking about excessive force since 1968. But a lot of people don't do research. Since 1968, the Vanderbilt, look it up. It'll tell you everything you need to know. We're going about it the wrong way, my brothers and sisters. We need to go after the Bill of Rights. That's where our problems lie at. Because these chiefs can't fire these police because they protected. They protected by the Garrity Law. They came out in 1968. Lieutenant Garrity was giving out parking tickets in New Jersey. He challenged the system so they can tell us when they kill our kids, I don't remember. I don't know. Guess why? Because they can plead their 14th and 15th Amendment rights when they kill our kids. It was justifiable. Every homicide is justifiable. The new number for California is 1113. Since 2015 to 2019, California police officers have killed about 1,113 people. Right. That's a problem. Yep. That's a problem, and they still killing us. It's time for us to come together, for real come together. All this separation and division in this fight, 2020 is our year, and I ain't having it no more. Let's go! I need you to connect with every sister and every father in this fight. Because they know what you're going through. They can feel what you feel. You can call them on the phone and say, I'm having a bad day today. They can tell you, I had one of those the other day. These police out here ain't our friend. They ain't gonna never be our friend. They killing us like it's modern day slavery. It's open season, it's a purge on us. And guess what? We complacent with it. If it happened in a 1 mile radius of your neighborhood, it's a problem. It's your problem. It's my problem. We gotta put an end to this. We gotta fight harder than we ever fought before. This is my 4th year in, and ain't no police officer going to jail after shooting 70 shots at my son. It's all about change. I don't want no change. I want changes. We got to do better, people. We really got to do better. California is the trendsetters. Let's set a trend and all bound together to run and beat this demon. Because you can't be a citizen in a corporation. This ain't no system. This a corporation. When you understand that this a corporation, you can fight this beast. Period. Stop running up to these legislators, to these law people trying to get laws changed, and you don't speak their language. They got certain clauses that they put on you that you don't know nothing about. Necessary? Let me tell y'all about the necessary clause. Necessary is a clause, an ecclesiastic clause, that give the Constitution back their power. Not reasonable is how they look at us. They look at us as inanimate. That means not living. Y'all better wake up. Y'all better wake up.
Let's go.
Y'all better wake up.
Let's go.
What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
When do we want it?
Now.
And we don't get it.
Shut it down.
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 Hashtag we ride.
So family, I often talk about the Police Officer Bill of Rights, and if you aren't familiar with it and you don't understand the kind of protections that it affords officers, I suggest you research it, contact your legislators, and work with community activists to bring about change in your community. This event was well attended by both community activists and media. Let's listen and see what they had to say.
Spot where a young black man was killed in a controversial police shooting. However, it just wasn't a gathering to honor one life, but several.
The common bond, all the victims lost their lives in controversial incidents involving police. KTVU's Greg Liggins in our newsroom now with more.
Well, Frank, Julie, here are three names: Ronnell Foster, Willie McCoy, Eric Reason. There are more names, but what those three men had in common is within the last 2 years, they died in the city of Vallejo at the hands of police. And tonight, many families and friends gathered to speak out against what they call unlawful police killings and to honor those who died. They gathered outside what is now Starbucks at this Vallejo shopping center, where 1 year ago, young rapper Willie McCoy was shot 55 times. The aunt of another man shot by police is outraged.
55 shots in 3.5 on a man that's asleep. I'm mad. And everybody out here ought to be mad too.
McCoy was asleep in his car outside what was then a Taco Bell, but was awakened by officers. When an officer thought he saw a gun, several opened fire.
Out of 6 body cams, there's no visual of a weapon in Willie's hand ever that I see, that anyone else seen, but the caption suggests gun, gun.
Ronnell Foster died in February 2018 after a police confrontation ended with him being shot. And in November, Eric Reason, who had a gun, was shot from behind by an off-duty Richmond officer during a parking lot confrontation.
The officer was in a position of safety. He could not have been in fear of his life, and for him to do that was a reckless, total disregard and a maliciousness as it relates to the life of Eric Reason, and he should be prosecuted for it.
So far, the district attorney has not charged any officers. Attorney John Burris filed claims on Friday against Richmond and Vallejo in the Reason case, a precursor to lawsuits. Speakers urged the crowd to make changes by voting people who don't represent their desires out of office.
Anybody who stands in the way of justice, equality, and making sure they're doing the will of the people as they were elected to do, then they got to go.
The gathering ended with a candlelight vigil for Willie McCoy and a chanting of names of lives lost at the hands of police.
Say his name. Willie McCoy. Willie McCoy. Willie McCoy. Say his name. Willie McCoy.
And there were several additional names. On January 31st, the Solano County District Attorney announced the shooting in the Foster case from 2018 was justified and no officer would face charges. But in the cases of McCoy and Reason, so far no decision has been announced.
So there you have it, family. And I'll be joining the family of Willie McCoy and activists in Northern California a little later this month. We'll have an opportunity to continue to demand justice. This is a marathon. It is not a sprint. Thank you for watching Sergeant Dorsey Speaks. For those of you who would like to know more, visit my website, support my mission on my Venmo and Cash App, Sergeant Dorsey Speaks. Until next time, be good, be safe.